Marcus Webb had run 17 supply interceptions in 6 years. He had a rule. You run the operation exactly as planned, or you do not run it at all. The Atlanta convoy was running exactly as planned for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The IED took the lead vehicle. The 3 fighters hit the rear escort simultaneously. The transport was stopped and the supply extraction was underway inside 90 seconds. Webb's unit ran this at the level of people who have done it so many times that the operation itself is no longer the difficult part. The difficult part is always what you don't plan for.
IED confirmed. Alpha on the rear escort. Bravo on the transport. Clock starts now. Rear escort down. Close. Transport stop. Bravo. Begin extraction. 4 minutes.
There was a third Varek escort soldier inside the transport. Not on any intelligence report. Not in any patrol manifest. Just there. A Varek warrior in close quarters against 3 resistance fighters in a transport corridor 4 feet wide. 2 of Webb's people went down in the first 7 seconds. The Varek soldier was still standing. The operation had become a different operation.
How many down?
2. She's still going in.
Can she reach the extraction point?
Negative.
Confirm both are breathing. Confirm. Confirm. Pull out. Now.
Webb made the call at 7 seconds. The supplies were not worth 3 lives. Nothing is worth 3 lives if you can avoid it. He pulled the remaining team and they ran. The 2 fighters who went down were alive. He confirmed that before he moved. He could not confirm they would still be alive in an hour. He ran anyway. That is the calculation of resistance leadership. It is the worst mathematics in the world.
We're leaving them. They're breathing. We're moving. But if we stay, 5 people die instead of 0. Move.
The Ember was not an army. It was a system. 4 regional commanders, none of whom knew the identities of the other 3. A shadow council above them, accessible only through layers of cutouts so deep that even Joseph could not have named its members if he wanted to. Every cell operated on the principle that if any single node was captured and broken, it could only compromise what it directly knew. This was the Resistance's greatest strength, and the thing that made every loss more isolated than it needed to be. The Shadow Council voted on operations above a certain scale. The Chicago activation was above that scale. Joseph submitted the request through the cutout chain and waited 48 hours. The vote came back 3-1 in favor. He had been the one against. He ran the operation anyway. That is what you do when the council votes. You execute the decision. You note your objection. You do not sleep well.
Council came back 3-1.
I know which way I voted.
Cardinal's the only asset inside Chicago administration with access to the refinement lists.
I know what happens if we don't confirm. I've been running the calculation for 2 weeks.
Then what was your objection? No.
That she's been protected for 4 years, and the moment we activate her, she stops being protected.
That's not an operational objection.
No, it's not.
Her name in the operational record was Cardinal. She had been in place for 4 years, building access without ever being activated. Joseph had protected her like a reserve, something you keep back for when you have no other option. He had other options. He chose her anyway because she was the only one who could reach the specific records within the refinement timeline. He sent the activation signal. He moved on to the next item. He did not move on.
Send the activation.
Sent.
How long until she receives it?
6 hours. She monitors at midnight.
Move on.
The activation signal reached Cardinal through a shortwave frequency she had been monitoring every night for 4 years, without a transmission. One night, there was a transmission. She knew what it meant. She had known what it would mean since the day she agreed to be activated. She spent 1 hour preparing. Then, she went to work. The High Council delegation arrived 2 days early. I found this out when I walked into the residence at 7 in the morning and the administrative aide told me the schedule had been fully revised. I spent the next 11 hours in rooms with the 3 most powerful Varek I had ever encountered. I translated everything. I remembered everything. I had no way to send any of it. Councillor Drav spoke to me directly 3 times, each time in an older Varek register I had never encountered in the court, carrying historical weight that administrative Varek does not. He was testing my comprehension range. I understood every word. I did not let him know I understood every word. These are different skills, and both of them are essential.
You speak the administrative register with fluency. Can you render the archaic form?
The archaic form carries weight the administrative register has worn smooth. I can render both. I will use whichever serves the room.
Use the one that serves accuracy.
As you wish.
Your interpreter is exceptional. She is the most accurate in the territory. I am not referring to her accuracy. I know.
My dead drop schedule ran on a 72-hour cycle. The delegation's arrival had changed my schedule so completely that I had not left the residence in 31 hours. I had intelligence I could not transmit, a dead drop window I had already missed, and a second window now 40 hours away. In this work, 40 hours is a geological timescale. She left a poem on the desk in the working room next to mine. Not deliberately, or deliberately, with the art of someone who gives you exactly what you need while maintaining the ability to deny they gave it to you. The poem was in Old Varek, the same register as Drav's speech. She had heard me navigate it in the sessions. She was showing me she had noticed. She was also giving me a cipher key she could not have known I needed. Or could not have known deliberately. I used it.
I left some notes in the adjacent room. I may have mislaid something, a page of writing. If you find it, there's no need to mention it to anyone. Of course. The Councillor's register is very old. Not many humans would have recognized it. I'm thorough. Yes.
Cardinal had 4 minutes inside the Chicago Administrative Records room. She needed 3. She had been preparing this operation for 4 years without knowing when it would happen. She moved through the records with the speed of someone who has memorized a space she had never been permitted to enter. 2 minutes 40 seconds. She had what she needed. She was moving toward the exit. Then the lights changed. The lights in a Varek garrison building change when a surveillance anomaly is detected. Not to red, to a slightly cooler white. A difference of 4 degrees Kelvin. Cardinal knew what it meant. The extraction team outside knew what it meant when they saw her running. The Varek garrison knew what it meant. Everyone in the building knew what it meant at the same moment. That is the worst kind of compromise.
4 degrees cooler. Okay.
Package is running. All teams, go.
The worker settlement in Chicago's North District is 12 blocks of compressed human civilian life under Varek administrative regulation. Every building, every alley, every passage is a potential cover and a potential trap. Cardinal ran it the way she had rehearsed running it. The garrison soldiers ran it the way they had been designed to run it. The extraction team ran interference from 3 positions simultaneously. For 4 minutes and 22 seconds, it was not clear which calculation would win.
3 clear. Package is not with us.
Confirm package status.
Unknown. Lost visual at the North Junction. We had to move.
Understood. Get the 3 to the secondary site.
He stood at the map table for 4 minutes without speaking. Naya did not speak either. There is a particular quality to the silence of people who have done this work for a long time, receiving news they knew was possible and hoped was not. It is not surprise. It is the specific weight of a contingency you prepared for arriving as a fact. 3 safe houses in 72 hours. The Chicago garrison had Cardinal's communication patterns and was running them backward through her cutout chain. Joseph ran the exposure calculation. He knew what it meant for the DC-Baltimore corridor. He ran it again. It meant the same thing.
Safe House 7 went dark at 0300. 8 at 05. 11, we got a runner out. 12, confirmed compromise.
That's not random.
They have Cardinal's communication map. Running it backward.
How far back does the chain go?
Far enough.
3 safe houses in 72 hours. The Chicago garrison had Cardinal's communication patterns and was running them backward through her cutout chain. Joseph ran the exposure calculation. He knew what it meant for the DC-Baltimore corridor. He ran it again. It meant the same thing.
Suspend the DC corridor.
Joseph, Amara is...
2 weeks. Complete silence. Send the suspension signal through the grandmother's code before the corridor goes dark.
She'll be in there. Alone.
I know.
The suspension signal reached me through the last live drop before the corridor went dark. A cloth pattern I recognized immediately. The grandmother's emergency code. 2 weeks of silence in the most important intelligence window of my assignment. I put the cloth in my document folder and returned to the session room. I translated for 6 more hours. That night, I encoded nothing. I sat in the working room and looked at the cloth and understood that my brother had made the right call and that I was now more alone than I had been at any point in 6 years. He sat at the map table until 4 in the morning. He had the operational log open and was not writing in it. He was looking at Cardinal's file. 4 years of careful work. A woman who had chosen the resistance before the resistance had ever asked her to. He would request her status through the only channel still open in Chicago. He already knew what the answer would be. He wrote her operational number in the log. He closed it. He sat in the dark. He did not sleep.